Well, hey guys, what's up? It's your boy, one and only AI Legends, and yeah, guys, today I am back with the next part of what if Naruto had bent Tennyson powers and was neglected by his family. So, yeah, guys, I hope that you guys enjoy the first part of this series. So, today I'm going to make the second part of this series. So, I hope that you guys enjoy it and please like and subscribe, and for the next part the like goal, which is going to be 250 likes and 180 comments. Do that and I shall upload the next part as soon as possible. And yeah, guys, if you guys want me to continue, you can say the series what if Naruto parents got revived, then that series should, you can say, when it reach at least 2k views I will upload the next part. But as for now I think that it will need some time. So yeah, guys, if you guys have not seen the second part, you guys definitely see it, as in that second part there is, you can say, Hokage bashing as well as Kakashi bashing, and soon enough it will be Jiraiya bashing as well. So if you guys enjoy that, then that part is for you. So yeah, guys, without wasting any more of your time, let us start this video of ours. But yeah, guys, before starting this video I would like to make a request to all of you guys who are watching this video. If you guys are new to this channel, or if you guys have not subscribed yet, please guys do so. It will definitely help me a lot, as I want to reach 10k subscribers as quick as possible. So yeah, guys, that will definitely help me. So please subscribe and subscribe. So without wasting any more of your time, let us start this video. Last time we left off as we saw that how triplets were born, as in this time Minato and Kushina, though treated triplets, you can say, as best as they can, but still giving both Menma and Naruto far too much favoritism. And finally Jiraiya arrived, telling them that how the old toad had seen the future of one of their children, saying that how he shall bring a great change and possess the power that were never seen in this world. As Jiraiya told them that no one was able to master the power, the complete power of the Nine Tails, since Madara Uchiha was not the Jinchuriki, so he did not completely master the powers, saying that if Menma and Mito were able to completely master the whole Nine Tails Chakra, then they would change the world, saying that they were the one, you can say, the old toad has seen, while on the other hand Naruto was simply ignored from the training. But Naruto did not bother with it that much, saying that he has a, you can say, positive view on the world, wanted to achieve his dreams no matter what. And finally the Orochimaru finally arrived, destroying the remaining dreams of our little hero Naruto, as he made a poison, wanted to destroy the chakra coils of both Menma and Naruto, but accidentally, or by the future, or by the writer, that is, as the pin, or rather the small arrow, met with Naruto, destroying his chakra coils even with his Uzumaki heritage, as well as Kyuubi's chakra still healing him. Still, it will take years for Naruto to, you can say, his chakra coils to return back, as finally at the 6th birthday Minato announces that both Menma and Naruto are going to be the heirs to Namakase and Uzumaki clan, knowing that how if he take away the title of the heir from Naruto, then he is no longer their son, he is no longer the part of any clan, and in short he is disowning his own son. But in his eyes it was better for the clan, and well, the clan which consists of 4 people to begin with, as but whatever, as but actually 2 people. Yeah, if Naruto is no longer the part of the clan, then Minato and, you can say, yeah, 2 people. Whole 2 clans are consisted of actually 2 peoples. As but whatever. As Naruto finally ran off, but unknowingly or by the accident, he simply fell off from the third Hokage face. But Azmuth, who was watching this all, as from the, you can say, his ship, finally found the successor for the powers of the Omnitrix, the successor to Benjamin Tennyson, as Coward Tennyson, as he has finally found it, as he bring Naruto up to his ship. So that was the last part, guys. If you guys have not seen that, then what are you guys waiting for? The part is waiting for you, and watch it as well, enjoy it. So without wasting any more of your time, let's start the video from here on. As Naruto simply opened his eyes, as he looked around to see he was in some mechanical room. As he looked around, as far as he remembered, he was in the party, and then his parents arrived, his godparents were there, and then his eyes widened, remembering that how his father literally disowned him in front of all Konoha, main shinobi, main people, the higher ups, and now he will be like a paranoia in the whole village. Even his, you can say, Shinobi life was already on the verge of destruction, while on the other hand, the civilian life will also be more than just hell, as most of the people were already giving him dirty glares when he looked around the village. But because he was so called Hokage's son, no one ever attacked him that much, that is, but still. No one actually attacked him, but now, since most of the people knew that how he has been disowned by Hokage, there will definitely be attacks on him, on his being, as well as you can say not many civilians will actually respect him to begin with, seeing that how the Hokage had disowned a person and they are actually helping him. Well, indirectly, it is going up against Hokage's order that how he was just a worthless piece of shit and they are actually helping him, going up against Hokage himself. So they did not want it that as well, as Naruto simply shook his head wondering what his life is actually going to be, as small tears simply dripped from his eyes, as then he could hear a voice. Well, young one, so much for a child, you're crying, huh? As Naruto looked around to see no one, as he was still looking around, as then a cough could be heard, as Naruto looked down to see, as Naruto blinked, as this was a small, what creature? As he looked down to see, Azmuth was simply looking towards him, as he said, well, a human. It seems that your race has not seen any alien races by now, as Naruto's eyes widened as he said, what? As he quickly jumped out of the bed as he looked around, wondering if he is in a dream or if he's actually dreaming or anything like that. As he simply shook his head, as he said, who are you? What are you? As Azmuth simply looked towards him and said, well, young one, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Azmuth and I am Galvan. And I am the most intelligent being in 3 dimensions. As Naruto simply looked towards him as he said, you can talk? As Asma said, but of course I can talk. Who do you think? Or what do you think I am? As Naruto simply looked towards him. As Asma simply sighed, well, typical humans. It seems that you have not seen an alien race, huh? Well, allow me to introduce myself, young one. My name is Azmuth, and as I said, I'm a Galvan, or in your language, an alien. As Naruto's eyes widened, momentarily forgetting about his pain and all the other worries he had in his mind as he looked towards him. So, you're an alien? And where am I? As he looked around, Azmuth simply shook his head, Not having a little bit of patience, are you there, young one? Well, let's start from the beginning. As Asma simply looked towards him as he said, you young one, I have chosen you to be the successor of once a great hero known by the name of Benjamin Kirby Tennyson across the universe. As Naruto simply looked towards him, who? As Asma said, well, of course you do not know about him. It has been some, I don't know, 300 years or something like that. As Naruto simply looked towards him. As Asma sighed, well, allow me to begin from the start. Long ago, you can say, I'm an alien from not this dimension, but a different one. As your dimension is pretty strange. This consists of strange energy known as Chakra. But there are other alien races across the universe who has many other powers. And yeah guys, these stories and things like that, all of it is fictional. Well, actually a person was telling me in the Instagram that how his little brother slammed the water balloon on the face of his father by saying there's Rasengan. So actually it was pretty funny while hearing him. So I was just telling you guys that it is just pretty fictional, and if you are a kid, don't try it at the home. I do not want you can say dropping water balloons on your parents by saying Rasengan or anything like that. So yeah, that was actually pretty funny. So it is all fictional, gods, aliens, things like that in it. They do not exist or anything like that. So don't try Rasengan at the home. So yeah. As I was saying, as Asmat began, as he said, well, I came from a different dimension. My world mainly consists of technology, but your world consists of this energy you call chakra. You can do many things with it. Pretty interesting. I have already studied many other beings, especially those Usususkis, consider themselves gods. Pretty pathetic if you ask me. Many other races can easily destroy them. As Naruto simply looked towards him and blinked. As Masai, follow me, young one. As Naruto simply nodded and died, not knowing what to do. But this guy was pretty, you can say, strange, but still pretty comfortable. So he started to follow Azmuth. As Azmuth arrived within the room, as holographic figures started to appear. As he said, long ago, I made a machine known by the name of Omnitrix. As Omnitrix, you can say, figure as well as screen appeared as Naruto simply looked towards him. This was a device and considered to be one of the strongest device in all creation by man, as it has the power and the DNA of all the aliens, as several alien species started to appear, you can say, on the screen as Naruto was looking towards it in utter awe, as he could not even believe it, as this such type of power exists, as he started to explain about different aliens, and then finally came, as you said, and then the machine finally landed into the hands of a human by the name of Ben Tennyson as Naruto looked towards the screen, and then Asma started to tell him the adventures of the Ben and then his son who got the omnitrix after him and several other things until the planet finally came to a doom by its own, you can say, doing and things like that. But it was centuries or eons ago as Naruto simply looked towards him as he said, "Oh, well, that is amazing." As Edma said, "But of course I am amazing. I'm the one who created the Omnitrix and several other devices such as Ultimatrix and many other things." As Naruto simply looked towards him, "So what do you want me to do? You want me to wear the Omnitrix?" As Asma simply shook his head, "Well, kid, not actually. Omnitrix was a device. I actually made it like a watch, though it never suited me. But still, as if it was made for a man to begin with. But still, the Omnitrix dies with Ben Tennyson as well as his generations. Now, I have made even far stronger or a far better version of the Omnitrix, which will be inside of your blood." As Naruto simply looked towards him, "Inside of my blood? So I will not have a watch." As Asma simply shook his head, "Well, that thing is old now. I have developed my technology far greater. It is known as nanotechnology, or rather nano omnitrix. It will be inside of your bone marrow. Even if someone is able to take your blood, then they will not be able to get the omnitrix or anything like that. It will reside with you unless you decide to, you can say, give it to someone else in your deathbed or anything like that. But still, the ultimate power will still reside in my hand over the Omnitrix, or rather the Nano Omnitrix, or the powers of the Omnitrix in short." As Naruto simply looked towards him in awe as he said, but why? Why are you giving this to me?" As Asma simply looked towards him as he said, "Well, kid, your world pretty interested me. Well, in my dimension, there was once a Earth, but it all destroyed. But still, when I arrived in this dimension, I started to study it and find out that there are many other planets quite similar to my own dimension, especially the Earth. So finally, I arrived there and saw how your world actually operates. To be honest, it's pretty far from the technology point of view as well as the development of the man. Pretty barbaric views are in your world." As Naruto simply nodded at that, he know about the shinobi world and all. As he said, what do you mean by that? The world has always been like this." As Asman said, "Well, your world is pretty far from where I came from. People live in harmony and many other things. And there are certainly no wars like yours." As Naruto could only see in awe, the person who has only heard about peace and seen small eras of peace will definitely be pretty interested if someone say that there is peace somewhere in the universe. Now, Asma simply looked towards him. "So, young one, do you accept my offer?" As Naruto said, "But you did not answer me. Why did you choose me?" As Asma sighed and said, "Well, I've seen your life, kid. I've seen it all. Though, not all, but still. You are one of the person known as the Jinchurikis, right?" As Naruto flinched at that. After all, Kurama did told him that how Naruto was a Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails. As Asma simply looked towards him. "I can give you the power to obtain anything, kid. With this power, you can achieve many great things. But I have seen your heart as well. Even after all the bullying and all the bad things your sibling had done to you, you are still willing to protect your brother even at the need of time. But still, so, I think that you're the only one worthy enough in this world to possess the power of the Omnitrix." As Naruto simply looked towards him in utter awe, as he said, "But as Asma said, well, there are no buts, kids. Kid, if you want to accept the power, then it's all yours. Though, I must tell you, it will be a painful process." As Naruto simply looked down, "But I cannot use chakra or anything like that." As Asma said, "Well, your chakra coils will heal up after the process. Your technology may be pretty, you can say, far behind. But with my own technology, it should be far too easy to reactivate your chakra coils and heal all the injuries that are there. But it will definitely take some time and the training by your side if you want to achieve the powers of the omnitrix and master most of the power of the aliens. As Naruto simply had a determined look on his face, if someone is willing to give him a chance to prove himself, to prove that he was second to none, as he will take it, he will accept this power, he will have his chakra back, and he shall become the strongest there is. And he said, yes, I will become a shinobi, the Hokage, the best there is. As Asma smiled, well, kid, let's see how much greatness you can actually achieve. So, are you ready for this process? As Naruto simply nodded at that as he said, so follow me. As Naruto was finally looking towards several pins in front of him as he gulped. As he said, Azmuth, are you sure that this is not going to kill me? As Naruto was stripped to a, you can say, operation theater, you can say better, anything like that, and in front of him there were thousands of pins ready to impale his body. As Asmar said, well, I have tried it many times, it will not hurt, not even a single bit. As Asmar then put a hand to his, you can say, face, well, I did try it on the diamond hand, but yeah, it will not hurt that much. As Naruto said, okay, as then finally Atman put the button, and finally after 3 years, as Naruto, as team was coming, as from all over Naruto's body, as Azmuth was simply looking towards Naruto, as several reports were in front of him, as he said, as I expected, his Uzumaki genes and his tenet, the Nine Tails, has given him pretty much great regeneration process. I think that he should be able to survive it, and the results are even better than I expected. As Naruto was finally out there looking towards all around his hand and then towards Azmuth, he could feel the power inside of him as if it was telling him, guiding him to use it. As Naruto was simply looking towards Azmuth in awe, as he could feel his chakra coils were repaired as if they were never damaged to begin with. As he was simply looking towards Azmuth in utter awe, as Azmuth simply looked towards him. So, kid, are you ready for your training? As Naruto simply looked towards him, as tears started to come from his eyes, as Naruto jumped towards the Azmuth and grabbed him into a gigantic hug for Azmuth, that is. But 6 years old, how can you can say how tight a hug could be? But as for the Azmuth, he is squeezing the life out of Azmuth, as Azmuth was simply, you can say, trying his best to breathe, as Naruto was saying, thank you, thank you, thank you, as he was grabbing Azmuth even further, as Azmuth said, Brat, let me go, I cannot breathe. As Naruto said, oh, sorry, as he bring Azmuth to the ground, as you can say, as Messiah, and said, well, humans, typical humans. Well, are you ready for your training, kid? As Naruto simply nodded at that, as he said, it is not like someone is waiting for me out there, so I'm ready, either way. As Matt simply nodded at that, alright kid, be ready, because it's about time you know the secrets of the omnitrix. As as Naruto finally smiled, it's about time that he proves everyone wrong as how worthy he actually was, and now it's about time. As Asma started to take Naruto into the, you can say, a chamber, as Naruto simply looked towards him, as as Asma said, well, this is the chamber I built myself. It is, you can say, a small dimension of emptiness. In this chamber, you will be able to master several abilities. Though you do not have eternity here, it is not like something hyperbolic time chamber or anything like that. This will only move on, but this will definitely give you some knowledge about your aliens. You will train here for 2 years, and after that, you can return back to your world. We will start with the basic elements such as fire, speed, strength, and things like that. So, are you ready? As Naruto simply nodded at that, as Asma said, well, I have already put a program in this new omnitrix that has been installed in your very being, and you should be able to master it, and it will guide you itself and show you about the powers. As Naruto simply nodded at that, and finally the training shall commence. As Asma said, be warned, Naruto, I have also put the DNA that I have collected in this universe as well, especially the DNA of the Utsutskis, as they have the power which might be relevant to you, since some of them were in your planet as well, such as the dojutsus. the Byakugan, Sharingan, Mangekyo Sharingan, and the old legend known as the Rinnegan. Though powerful dojutsu, but still not the strongest. And after that, the Rinne Sharingan, the Tensegan, and things like that are also in that omnitrix powers that has been gifted to you, Naruto. So you should be able to master it. As Naruto simply nodded at that, he learned about the Byakugan as well as the Sharingan, and also you can say heard something about the Mangekyo Sharingan, but he never bothered with it that much, thinking that it was something like you can say not important. So yeah, he never bothered with it that much. So now it's about time that he start to learn about these things and finally be able to reach the level which his master which wanted him to be a savior, as Naruto simply was ready. Now let us cut back to 2 years, a time skip of 2 years. In this time, Naruto has been able to master several DNA of the aliens which has been installed into his very being. As Naruto has been able to learn many things such as the forearms powers, the accelerator, diamond head, and things like that, the jet ray, and the Ravik, chroma stone, and many other things, as Naruto can easily do many things as well as has been able to master several dojutsus like the Byakugan, the Sharingan, as Azmuth was able to give him several, you can say, scan of the copies of the scroll which were present in the as Earth, as well as you can say about the Byakugan as well as the Sharingan, as Azmuth was able to find some information that was present on the moon itself about the Tensegan. As Naruto was pretty intrigued about it, some Otsutsuki members were still living on the moon, which was pretty surprising to Azmuth as well. Though his drone was still able to gather some information about the Tensegan. So Naruto was easily able to do all of these things with little to no trouble. You guys can already see as I'm making Naruto one of the most OPS character there is. So you should definitely give him a thumbs up. So what are you guys waiting for? Give this video a like. And yeah, and especially Naruto a like, because it's going to be one OP of a character here. As now 2 years has finally passed, it's about time for Naruto to return back to the earth and finally be in the academy. As Asuma simply looked towards Naruto as he said, "Well, Naruto-kun, it seems that our time together has come to an end. You were like a son to me, just like Ben Tennyson once was." As he put a hand to Naruto's shoulder and make me proud. You have already mastered many abilities. It's about time you show the world who the boss actually is. With a foxy smirk, as Naruto said, it seems that I have finally rubbed on you, old man. As Asuma simply chuckled, "Well, see you later, Naruto." As he simply put his shape, as Naruto said, returning back to your dimension, As Asuma said, "Well, my research on this dimension has already come to an end. And trust me, the best thing that could happen to me in this universe were you. But don't worry, I'll be keeping an eye on you." As Naruto simply laughed, "Well, don't worry about it, old man. I'll be taking care of myself. It has been some time since I have eaten that ramen." As Asuma laughed, as that, "Well, see you soon then, Naruto." As after saying that, his shape finally went off, while on the other hand, Naruto was floating within the, you can say, space and said, well, this is one of the useful abilities, I guess. So let's see how fast I can actually move. As Naruto moved with incredible speed, moving at one of the fastest, you can say, speed. As he finally arrived within the Konoha, wondering if his family has actually missed him or anything like that. As he arrived, landed on the face of the third Hokage. As he looked around, as he, you can say, stealth his body and keeping his presence a secret, as he said, as he muttered a single word, "Ghost Freak." As then finally Naruto's body got invisible as Naruto started to pass through the walls and finally even the, you can say, the seals that were all around the area. As Naruto finally arrived to his home, wondering if his family has been waiting for him, was trying to find him or anything like that. Deep down, he was still a kid hurt by his family. As he looked around to see him, and the scene boiled his blood, as it was the perfect scene of a perfect family, so-called perfect family to begin with. As Menma as well as Mito were waiting for the ramen, as Minato was, you can say, chatting with Menma and telling him that how tomorrow is going to be the first day of the academy and how great Menma is going to be. As Menma was laughing, as Naruto was also joining within the conversation, while on the other hand, Kushina was bringing the ramen and all, as Naruto did not like it whatsoever. It seemed that his family has finally forgotten about him. He would be surprised if they ever bothered to look for him to begin with, as Naruto simply shook his head. Don't worry, it's about time. That he has already mastered many abilities, and soon enough the world shall know the name Naruto. Naruto Galvin, as that was the new name. Since Naruto has been banished from both of the Namakase and the Uzumaki clan, he is going to take the mentor of Naruto Namakase and soon enough shall become one of the strongest shinobi or a new savior for this world from its very own self. As he simply smiled at that thought, as he simply went off, but not before doing a small prank, as Naruto muttered a simple word. As Naruto, you can say, put a hand to his pocket and then bring out some papers. As Naruto smirked, it will be gorgeous. As Naruto simply went into the kitchen as the ramen was still there. As Naruto simply put the, you can say, papers within the ramen. As he smirked as he went to the window ready to see the show on the display. As Kushina said, alright guys, the ramen is finally ready. As Menma and Mito had a huge smile on their faces. Finally, the ramen. As Minato was also smiling. As you can say, as Kushina finally bring the ramen to the, you can say, table and said, alright, are you guys ready? As everyone was ready to dig in the ramen. As Minato said, alright, let's just pray first. As all of them were ready to do that, and then finally, now, as then ready to eat the ramen, and then boom, as it the whole ramen got blown on their faces, as both Minato as Kushina were ready on their, you can say, defense stances, while on the other hand both Menma and Mito had open white, you can say, faces, and the ramen simply turned into orange as all the four family members were turned into orange. As Naruto burst into laughter, but since he was still in his ghost freak form, no one was able to hear him because he stopped his voice from going there. As all the, you can say, Menma, Mito, Minato and Kushina were turned orange as they were literally looking towards each other. As Minato eyes was literally twitching as he looked towards Menma. Menma, is this your one of your pranks? As Kushina also looked towards Naruto and said, tell me Naruto, did you do this? Do you have any idea how much hard work I had to do to make that ramen? As Menma said, but dad, I did not. But Minato said, alright, that is enough. Both of you are grounded for the day. As both of them had, you can say, disappointed looks on their faces while wondering who pulled this prank to begin with. Both of them were actually pranksters, but still, they never pranked with their ramen. It was the off limit, the red line, no one can cross it. As they were, you can say, pretty disappointed and went off. As Naruto said, well, so them right, I guess. As he simply went off, while on the other hand, Minato was wondering how he's going to remove the, you can say, whole orange thing on his face. As Minato sighed as they went off, along with, you can say, Kushina, as well as Medma and Mito simply went in their respective homes and rooms. And well, as Naruto said, well, it seems that I have academy to attend tomorrow, well, that should be great. As he simply went to, you can say, forest and slammed his hand to the ground wood style. As finally a small house of the wood, you can say, if you have seen the houses on the top of the, you can say, tree, that type of, you can say, house was formed and said, tree house, well, that is great. As simply went into the house and took a, you can say, small nap. And now let us cut to tomorrow as Minato was scratching his body all over. His whole hair, all of his body was returned back to normal from the pain, but his hair turned orange along with Kushina, whose eyes were twitching rapidly, as well as Menma and Mito. Both of their hair were also turned orange as they were simply looking towards each other as if accusing each other for this damn prank. As Minato said, alright, damn it, just tell me, where did you brought those damn paints? They're not even dropping out from my hair. As Menma said, but dad, I did not do it. I will never turn my hair orange or anyone. As Naruto said, yeah, I had to impress Sasuke-kun. I cannot have this orange hair. As Kushina simply rubbed her hand, Minato, why don't you use henge? As Minato sighed, as he said, damn it. As he hinged his, you can say, hair into yellow, as well as Kushina, while on the other hand both of them simply looked towards Menma and Mito, who were looking towards their mother pleadingly. As she said, well, since you have pulled this prank, why don't you go to your school first day with those hairs. And both of them were now pretty disappointed at, you can say, at their mother, who was about to give them some way out of this. And now it's time for the academy, as both Minato as well as Kushina bring their, you can say, bring their, as both of the children meanwhile meet out to the, you can say, academy, as but they were not expecting that a child which they thought might have died or something like that, or simply went outside of the village and never even bothered to look for him. After all, he was not a true Jinchuriki. Only meanwhile Mito are the true Jinchurikis of the 9 tails, and Naruto only has the, you can say, body and the 1 tail worth of chakra. Not even worth looking for to begin with. As now, as both Minato as well as Kushina finally arrived to the academy along with Menma and Mito, ready to see the first day of their children, as Ruka was looking towards his team with proud smile on his face and said, "Well, class, today is going to be your first day in the academy and I'm honored to be your sensei. So, are you guys ready for, you can say, wait a minute, for the future which lies ahead of you to become the shinobi of this village, to protect this village with your lives?" And all the, you can say, kids were really impressed and were ready to do anything, you can say, you know, the adrenaline and all. As then suddenly the door opened, as most of the, you can say, clan heads were there in the, you can say, shadows and simply looking towards their children with proud smiles on their faces. And Minato was getting ready to give a speech and all, and to their surprise the door opened, and then a lone figure started to walk inside of the room. As this figure had, you can say, navy blue hair shirt along with a jacket of navy blue and black sandals and black pants, ambu pants, and in, you can say, in the back of it has a symbol of green, as this was a symbol of half black and green, or in short, the symbol of the omnitrix. As Naruto simply entered within the room, as his blonde hair was simply as his blonde hair were pretty long, just like Minato. As he said, it seems that I'm a bit late, sensei. My apologies. As Iroka simply looked towards Naruto and said, and who you might be? As Naruto gave him a paper. Well, my name is, as he said, well, I'm a student in the academy as well, Iruka sensei. As Iruka simply looked towards the paper, well, you're a student. Well, you can take a seat. While on the other hand, all the people did not notice. While on the other hand, all the clan heads were little surprised. In this year, some of the clan heads tried to find Naruto, as they were sure that he was in the village and did not left it, but none of them were able to find it. Even though Minato might have, you can say, rejected his son or something like that, as they wanted him in their clan so that they can use the power. But when they heard that Naruto Chakra coil was literally destroyed, they thought that it was no good to begin with, so they literally stopped for the search and never even bothered. As Ruka said, "Alright, take a seat." As then Minato was little surprised. What was Naruto doing here? As a matter of fact, what was he doing alive to begin with? He thought that some evil shinobi or stone shinobi must have got him and might have killed him out of revenge or something like that, but he never bothered because of his underlying hatred for Naruto, because he holds the soul or the body of the 90s which destroyed so many people. It was a taunting to Minato that the 90s were living, and his, you can say, predecessor third Hokage and so many people died, while on the other hand 90s was living happily inside of his son, which was unacceptable to both Minato and Kushina. So someone had to suffer so that the 90s could suffer, and what better way is there to make the Jinchuriki suffer, right? Well, too bad. As Naruto said, "Alright, I'll be taking my seat." As then Menma showed up. What are you doing here, loser?" As all the kids were now looking towards Menma, pretty surprised, as Naruto also showed up. "Yeah, what are you even doing here? Last time we checked, you died." As Naruto simply looked towards both of them. Do I know you guys? At this, both Menma and Naruto had a face palm, as Menma said, "Hey, it's me, Menma. How did you forget your betters?" As Naruto said, well, with those pathetic orange hair, I guess there are many people superior to you here. In the term of hair, just look at me. I have beautiful blonde hair. What are yours? Orange. Well, quite a color actually. Suits you, clown." At this, Menma was now fuming in pure utter anger. His face was at the same shade of red as it was. How dare this loser to talk back to him? He was his superior, he was his better. and Naruto will know it, as Naruto was also red just because you can say Naruto humiliated her in front of her Sasuke-kun. She will not have it. As Ruka said, alright, Menma, Naruto, it is enough. Naruto-san here, I don't know how you know him, but still, he has a sign here, and it has been signed by the Hokage himself that he has been allowed to take the exam. As this Minato's ice warden, he never signed any paper in which he allowed Naruto to be the part of the academy to begin with, as he wanted to went there at the moment and stop what is going on here. But he was Hokage, and several clan heads were simply looking towards him as he simply shook his head, wondering what Naruto is actually doing. But deep down, he knew he was nothing, and there will be nothing he's going to achieve here to begin with. So there was no trouble to begin with, as he sighed and said, alright, I'll be going there, Kushina. As Kushina was also narrowing her eyes towards Naruto, she never liked him because he holds the, you can say, the body and the soul of the Nine Tails. As she simply, after all, she was justified because of her hatred for the Nine Tails, and who somehow has possessed her son and killed him off. That was the logic of Kushina. Well, too bad actually. As now let us cut back. As Naruto simply gave a smirk to Menma and went to his seat, angering both Menma and Naruto at the same time. As Menma and Naruto simply looked towards each other, as Naruto said, I'm going to beat his ass. As Menma said, I'll be there to watch. As Naruto simply nodded at that, as well as Menma, ready to beat him up, ready to show him who are his betters, who are their better, and they will show him properly. As that, you can say, they simply took their seat as Minato arrived, gave the speech and all, as he gave Naruto a look, wondering, as if saying that he's going to regret it or something like that. But Naruto simply shrugged it off and simply looked outside of the window, angering Minato a little. As then he simply went off as he said something to the ear of Iruka, who simply looked towards Hokage as if he has lost it. But he simply obliged no matter what. After all, Minato was the Hokage and Iruka cannot disobey him no matter what. As Iruka said, alright class, today we are going to have some sparring matches so that we can see where you guys actually stand. At this, Menma smirked, giving his father a thumbs up, as Minato gave him a eye smile, as well as Naruto, and they had a huge smirk on their faces as them. Naruto said, alright, come outside. As all of them simply went outside, as all the clan heads were there to watch along with Kushina. As Minato was actually, as Kushina said, Minato, what is going on here? What is Naruto doing here? I thought he, as Minato said, died, right? I know that. I sent some ambush to search for him, but they never found him. So I thought that some stone shinobi must have caught him. At this, all the clan heads were looking towards Minato, as he said, as Shikamaru, Dad said, so you thought your son died, but you never bothered with it, didn't you, Minato? As Minato did not even look towards him or see him. He was simply looking towards the battle, as while the other clan heads were simply looking towards him, as Kiba's mother speaker, well, he's just a loser and can never be more than that. Didn't you hear? His chakra coils were destroyed, so what he can achieve to begin with? And last time I heard, both Menma and Naruto are being trained by you, as well as the Sanins, aren't they, Minato? As Minato simply nodded at that, this batch is more than over. It is just here so that the kids could see what their level actually is, as here she said, we all know why these matches are, Minato, so don't cover it up. Let's see what your prodigy is made up of. As Minato said, Menma is going to win no matter what, as Menma was ready to fight off against anyone to prove who is the better of all, as he looked towards them. So, are you ready to lose, loser? As Naruto simply looked towards him. Did you say something, clown? At this, Menma was literally fuming as some of the people burst into laughter, as Minato did not like it that his son was being made fun of, but he cannot do anything. While on the other hand, far away in the trees, a lone figure sneezed and said, it seems that someone is trying to copy the coolness of mine. I have to do something about it. As he simply nodded at that. As this figure was Kakashi, you guys already figured out. So yeah. As Iruka said, alright, the matches began. As the matches started to go on, as then Iruka said, alright, the next match, as Menma said, well, Sensei, I would like to challenge a loser here who thinks that he can become a shinobi, but perhaps he has forgotten one thing, that his chakra coils were destroyed years ago, and he's just a civilian who trying to be to be better and try to tell us that how we are fools or something like that. At this, most of the people were surprised. Some of the girls who were fangirling over Naruto were pretty surprised, and Menma said, "So loser, are you ready?" As Naruto said, "Whatever you say, clown." As Menma was now glaring daggers at Naruto, and he said, "Alright, that does it, loser. I'm going to beat your ass right here and right now." As Naruto said, "Alright, I'll accept your challenge, only on one condition." As Menma scoffed, you want me to use only one hand? Well, don't worry. I will not even need that." As Naruto simply shook his head. "Well, not that. I would like to fight Naruto as well as you at the same time. I have heard so many things about you, how you have been trained by the Hokage." As Naruto started to speak loudly, and how you have been trained by Hokage, his wife, who is an aspiring shinobi, both of the Sanins, and at the same time, you are in the same class of the other kids, trying to show that how superior you actually are. But in the end of the day, you're just getting favoritism by the Hokage as well as the both of the Sanins. As this, all the kids started to murmur among themselves, as some of the girls were simply glaring at Naruko, wondering that if she's trying to get Sasuke-kun on her side, as both of them were now glaring at Naruto, as some of the people started to, you can say, make some distance between themselves as well as Menma, while Kushina gasped and said, "How dare he to say that to my son?" As Menma, as Minato was also angry. As while on the other hand, clan had simply looked towards each other. This class consisted of their children, and it was right, both Minato, Kushina, and so many extra training were being given to Benma and Mito. It was pretty unfair for their heirs. As then Naruto said, "Alright, I'll accept both of you at the same time. As a matter of fact, I want to see how strong you actually are. After all, you're going to represent your trainers. So let's begin this little dance of ours, shall we?" As Menma said, "Now I'm going to beat your ass here, and right now, you worthless piece of shit." As Naruto said, "We shall see about it, clown." As Manma gritted his teeth. He did not like it when his loser of and good for nothing of a brother was calling him clown or anything like that. He hated it. And now he's going to prove his superiority. Well guys, here I will have this part. Hope you guys enjoyed it. For the next part, the like goal is going to be 230 likes and 180 comments. Do that and I shall upload the next part as quick as possible. So yeah guys, I hope that you guys enjoyed it. So yeah. And yeah guys, subscribe and subscribe. And peace.